Hi everyone, it's Rax. Last Epoch has just started their hype week for their new season. I think they're going to release a post every single day for 5 days. I don't know if you guys want me to make a video for all of them. I don't really want to flood your inbox, or maybe I'll wait for a couple of them to come out and then make a video then. But the first one was about the season mechanics. So this one's so good, I think it maybe warrants a video all on its own. Let's get into the hype for Last Epoch. So there's a lot of words here. We're going to skip most of it. We're just going to get down to the summary here. The new season mechanic is Primal Hunt. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be hunting for beasts. There's going to be all different mechanics for how we're going to level up and evolve the beasts and get, according to EHG, and usually they don't really sensationalize too much. Usually they actually tell us the truth. We're going to get the most powerful items ever released in Last Epoch according to them. So what we're going to get, among other things from doing this, are primal uniques and tier 8 affixes. And as they explain later, these are going to be massive increases from tier 7 and your normal uniques. And this is where they say the most powerful and exciting items ever in Last Epoch. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin our journey by finding these little rifts to start our primal hunts. And then we're going to go through this cave system, and there's going to be an NPC that we're going to interact with. And we're going to be fighting a bunch of different enemies. Now, when we fight these enemies, at the end, you're going to be able to spare, I think, one of their little younglings, one of their hatchlings. And then you can choose what the future traits of the bosses are going to have, and they're going to evolve, kind of like Pokemon, Charmander to Charmeleon to Charizard. And when you make a selection for your evolution, it's going to give you guaranteed certain materials for the season, and also certain like basic rewards like affix shards or glyphs or whatever you want. And when you evolve these like choose your own creatures, not only are you picking your rewards, but as they evolve, they will get much more powerful and even get like new abilities and things and have a whole new loot table. So figuring out exactly how to evolve your Pokemon and kill them to customize it specifically for either what you need or how you make your build will probably be pretty interesting. I didn't play this league, but this kind of reminds me of what I've heard about like Metamorphosis in PoE. I think they might have gotten rid of Metamorphosis or something, where you could kind of create your own boss. And it seems like it's going to be pretty fun. You can see like here's a picture of the monsters evolving here with all of the new rewards. So then why exactly are we picking these like primordial resources? Well, we can spend them at the vendor to get a bunch of godly items. So you can get anything, pretty much anything that you would need. You could get primordial uniques. You can get the primordial, you try to get stuff to make the primordial T8 affixes. You can get gold, or you can get like a grab bag of goodies or affix shards, tons of different things that you can buy. So as long as you're interacting with the season mechanic, there's so many different options to buy from this guy that you pretty much can't lose, right? You can just buy whatever you want. So talking a little bit about primordial items and the new rune of evolution for how exactly we will get those T8 affixes, they are going to further expand the crafting. So it would evolve an exalted item. It takes a random T7 affix and turns it into a T8 affix, massively increasing its power. I believe they said it's between 50 to 100% as strong as a T7 affix, which is massive. It doubles the value of T7, and T7 is already way better than the other tiers. And it moves it to its own second sealed affix slot. So that's pretty massive if you think about it, because when you seal an affix off of an item, it normally has 4 stats. The fact that it gives it its own unique slot means that you could craft another affix that's very valuable for your build. So not only are you taking the super powerful affix that you like and nearly Jay Wilson doubling it, but you also open up that affix slot if you have enough crafting potential to level up another one all the way up to T5. Or maybe you could do some super epic 5-head shit where you craft it at level 1 and then you use the rune to flip the affix tiers. If you like, let's say you hit a 50-50 on a double T7, and then it moves the T7 over to the other godly affix. So you get a T8 of your best affix and a T7 of your second best affix if you're lucky enough to make that happen. There's a ton of possibilities here for like min-maxing to get some pretty outrageous power levels from this mechanic. So it's really cool that Last Epoch has such a good crafting system, and they continue to evolve it, pun intended, every season. So one thing about, here's the 50 to 100% increase that they're talking about and how much better T8 affixes are. And then when you get to the uniques themselves, they're just going to, I think they're going to increase the unique power. So if you have a build that is very heavily reliant on a certain unique, like that's really, really good for you, and it's like you base your build around it, well, making it a primordial unique, and giving it a huge extra power in whatever it's doing could take maybe a B or a C tier build and maybe already make it S tier just from that. One thing to know between these is you can only have one on your build, one primordial anything on your build. So you either have something with the primordial exalt with the T8 affix, or you get one unique. So you have to make the decision, and maybe it will change over time. Like maybe what you really want is a primordial T8 affix sword, but you just can't find it. But in the meantime, you found a really good ring. So you use that for now until you get something better. So I have a feeling like it could even be really good early league just to make a primordial exalted hybrid health. It might just give you so much health that you stop dying. So I have a feeling people won't hit the miracle thing that they need right away. And by the way, the uniques can roll with legendary potential. So that's also pretty cool. There will be extra tiers of farming for the best items in the game. So another thing that you can think about here is it might enable you to wear something that you previously couldn't wear. Let me give you an example. Remember a million years ago when I made the detonating arrow marksman video, and that build it just murdered everything, right? It was like so fun, and then EHG nerfed it because they hate fun. Well, what you needed to do on your 2 rings is you needed like a T7 exalt of reduced mana cost in order to play the build. Well, if the T8 affix can double the value of what you're getting from T7, maybe a single ring, if that build wasn't dead, would have been enough to solve all of your mana problems. And if that's true, that means in the other ring slot, that might open it up to like a unique ring that I previously could never wear in this build. So there might be certain builds that need to hit a very specific threshold of gear, and doubling it as a T8 affix and sealing it off might allow you to open up another item slot that you used to previously have to use to reach that threshold. Anyway, it's a lot of yapping, but what I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of potential for like min-maxing here, which might take certain builds that were just kind of meh and might make them godly. There's a Twitch drop campaign. I'll be streaming all the time. If you want to unlock all of these, I'll play until I pretty much fall asleep in my chair. So if that interests you, I'll be on. And that's pretty much it. By the way, I want to tell you a little trick, by the way. If you watch on YouTube instead, I don't know if you guys knew this. If you make a Twitch account and you open a stream in on Twitch to get the drops, if you mute the stream, last I heard, you don't get the drops, right? So what a lot of people do is they turn the volume to 1 on the Twitch stream and then just go watch on YouTube or something to gain their rewards. There's another trick you can do instead of that. If you open the Twitch stream and then you right-click the tab and mute the tab, but leave it unmuted on Twitch, you also get the drops, and you don't have to you won't hear any of the volume. So even if you don't have Twitch, you could make a Twitch account and just get it for free. That works for any campaign for any game, unless Twitch changed it where you used to have it so if you had it muted, you wouldn't get it. So unless they changed that, they haven't changed it as far as I know. Anyway, that's the end of the video. That's the season mechanic. Overall, it sounds very, very interesting to me. I think there is a big potential for this to be a lot of fun. It reminds me of other league mechanics I've seen in other games kind of married together. And Last Epoch usually does a pretty good job of their own interpretation of how these things could go, because a lot of them also play these ARPGs. I bet you they played Metamorphosis League. I bet they played Season 1 from Diablo 4, which is kind of similar. Go into a cave and hunt down things and find a little Jim Bob, whatever it was called, not the vampire stuff, whatever that thing was called, the rotten corruption stuff. Anyway, if you guys would like more little short videos like this about what's coming, let me know. Otherwise, if the updates aren't quite as major, maybe I'll just bank them all up and release a Friday video or something. Anyway, Last Epoch is looking real good. I plan to transition over there and start practicing speedrunning. I'll have build guides, leveling guides. I'll figure out this mechanic as quickly as I possibly can. I'll make guides on that for you. I'll have everything for you. I'll update the loot filter. It's all coming. Last Epoch's coming. It's exciting. Thank you.